All right, guys. We're back.
Another week.
Another week.
All
What are we doing this week?
I don't know.
We are talking to the kids about being satisfied in life, being content, and being gracious and grateful, I should say, for what they have. So, Steve and I kind of talked a little bit about how we were going to go into Acts 16 and talk about Paul and Silas and kind of give that story on Sunday. So now we're going to recreate something new and different for our filming for this week.
How are we going to start off? Where we starting off at? I see in the notes here there's a few things. Where do you want to start?
What about if we got like a hot air balloon and then we just like put a bunch of people in the hot air balloon and then we just like threw confetti over the side, and I think that would be really great.
Don't know about that.
I have some other ideas too, guys.
I know we need a few supplies,
Okay.
and we don't have a lot of time to get it. If we need to order anything, if we need to get anything, who do we want to put in charge of ordering what we need?
Okay, Boris, how do you feel about taking on the shopping list for this week? Because I think we're all booked.
Oh, I can shop it up.
Turns out.
All right, I'm going to mark you down, Boris, for doing that.
Good job, buddy.
And this is the church credit card. I trust you.
I don't know. I trust you with that card.
Use it wisely.
What's the spending limit?
Good question. As minimal as possible. It is the church credit card.
Well, the church has money. I will only spend what is absolutely necessary.
Make sure I get it back by the end of the week.
I
Okay.
love the shopping. Home shopping network. Here I come.
Oh, Boris, if you need help with that credit card and buying that stuff, I'm your girl.
But how about this? You need to be responsible with that card. I'm gonna keep an eye on you with that card. All right, Boris? Right here. Got my eye on you.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions about today's or this week's lesson?
You know, I have not been in many videos as of late. What is my role this week?
I think we were going to have you eating a lot.
That sounds good to me. I just need to know because I need to schedule a washing and a haircut and get my beard trimmed up a little bit. And I gotta get off some of these pounds. Sitting around too much, eating cans.
Well, why don't you guys look it over, figure out what questions you have, and then email us with any questions you have. We'll get everything ordered, we'll get ourselves set, ready to go, and then when you guys come in, we'll have it all prepped, everything here, and we'll be good to go.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah?
You excited, Boris?
All right,
Okay.
sweet.
Thanks.
I'm going to spend it all.
Oh my. What have you done, Boris?
Oh my goodness, are any of these for me?
What is the church gonna say?
I don't even know what to say. Boris, I let you borrow the credit card. You're supposed to be responsible.
Oh, somebody's in trouble.
I'm so excited.
Don't you listen to Carrie. Don't you listen to Miss Carrie.
This is so fun.
No,
Look at all this
no.
stuff. What
Boris,
have you been buying? Look at all this.
we're going to have a talk, Boris. We're going to have a talk. Don't you listen to Miss Carrie. She
Boris.
is...
I need the credit card back. You've got to take back all of this stuff.
No
You can't-
way.
We can't afford this. It's the church card.
Sure. we
From
could afford
Australia?
this.
What did you buy from Australia?
3 Pro Book. What are those? MacBook Pros? What are you doing?
And Target, my favorite.
Seriously, Boris, we're going to have a small conversation, buddy.
Oh, Boris. I'm so sorry. I heard all about the returns. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I feel so bad. I would be sad too because, it was so wonderful to have all of those amazing things.
It was fun ordering, but you know.
I know. I just, I feel like what's the harm in having all of those amazing things? And, why can't we have all of those things? Why did we have to send all of that back? I'm so sorry.
Especially the MacBook Pros.
I know.
I was looking forward to gaming.
Me too. Sorry, buddy.
Hey guys, that actually reminds me of a really great Bible verse and a really great Bible story. The verse comes from Psalm 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And we see that mentality of that verse played out in a story about Paul and Silas in Acts 16. In fact, starting in verse 16. Super easy to remember. Acts 16, verse 16. And in that story, Paul and Silas are actually arrested for doing nothing but preaching the gospel. In fact, their preaching of the gospel causes a bit of a ruckus. And, everyone loves a good ruckus. And they get tossed in jail. Now, it's not the kind of jail where they're sitting comfortably inside a huge jail cell with all kinds of room to move around. No, they're literally, chains on them, sort of stuck in a bit of a hole. And they're just sort of sitting there. And most of us, given that situation, would probably be complaining. Like, oh, God, I'm out here doing what you want me to do, and this is the thanks I get. But that's not at all what Paul and Silas do. In fact, what they do is nothing short of amazing. They sing. They worship God. They are praising Jesus. In fact, they're thankful that they're in that situation to begin with. So they're singing, they're praising God, they're having a good old time, they're worshiping in the middle of being thrown in jail. The secret isn't that Paul was just some sort of amazing person that despite all the stuff that Paul goes through, that somehow he can, not care about all this stuff that's going on. No, Paul and Silas had a unique perspective. And it's the same perspective that we all need to have. That we don't need a bunch of stuff. I mean, Paul knew what it meant to not have a whole bunch of stuff, and Paul knew what it meant to have some stuff. Because at the end of the day, for Paul and Silas, all they needed was Jesus.
So wait, we're not allowed to have anything?
Well, Boris, having stuff isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's not even bad to want stuff. That's perfectly okay. It's great to make Christmas lists and birthday lists and to do window shopping and go through the toy aisle at Target and just want things. That's perfectly fine. The problem comes when we look at those things that we want, we make ourselves believe that those things are actually needs, and then we let those things determine whether or not we're happy. We look for those things to make us satisfied. We aren't really grateful for what we do have. We just keep wanting more, thinking if I just have one more thing, then I'll be satisfied. Or if I just have one more thing, then I'll be satisfied. And at the end of the day, none of it actually makes us happy.
I do not know this word satisfied. What does it mean?
That's a great question, Boris. Being satisfied simply means to be pleased, to be content, to be happy, to say that what I have is enough. I don't need anything else. I mean, let's be honest, Boris. Was there ever really going to be a time when it was going to be enough? Were you ever really going to order enough? Was it ever going to be, okay, I'm good. I don't need anything else?
No.
See, guys, what Psalm 23 and the story of Paul and Silas actually teaches us is that it's not about the stuff that we have where we find our happiness. It's not about how much we can go shopping or how much money we have or how many toys we have or video games we have or whatever it is that you want. Those things are really never meant to define how happy we are. It's important to remember that those things are not bad and that in many cases, God has graciously provided us with cars to drive and houses to live in and toys to play with and clothes to wear and video games to play and all of the wonderful things of life that we get to enjoy. That, yeah, God in many cases allows us to have those things and is okay with us enjoying those things within reason. When they become a problem is when we start to try to have those things make us be happy. We can't find happiness in those things. The only place that we're going to find happiness is in Jesus.
Boris, I have an idea. I know it's going to make you feel better because it makes everyone feel better. Ice cream! Yay! We're going to go get ice cream!
One scoop, Boris. One.
Just eat one scoop.
We're not going to have you have a tummy ache.
He said it's different.
No!
Candy, my favorite.
Oh, in for another one, am I not? All right, you can have 2 scoops.
what this whole lesson teaches us, and what Boris really needed to learn here, was that despite all of the shopping, his happiness was never going to be found in all the stuff that he was buying. In fact, the happiness isn't even going to be found in the ice cream that he gets to go get, however many scoops it has. What it teaches us is gratitude and being satisfied. The happy life, the satisfied life, a life full of gratitude begins with making Jesus enough. That what if, it makes us sort of wonder, what if all of those things were taken away from us? Just like Boris, all of those things were taken away. It forces us to ask ourselves, is Jesus enough? Is he enough to make us happy? And that's the point of Psalm 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Because it's God who takes care of all of my needs. It's God who supplies me with everything that I need to make sure that I'm doing the stuff that he wants me to do. Everything else is just a bonus. The goal is to be so focused on Jesus that the rest of this does not matter. And even if we were in jail for preaching the gospel like Paul and Silas, we'd still be worshiping, singing songs, having a good old time, because at the end of the day, it's all about Jesus. So here's the challenge for this week. I want you to take some sticky notes, make a list, whatever you need to do. But I want you to come up with 10 things that you are grateful for. Because here's the thing, to be satisfied with what you have begins with being grateful for what you have. We always tell our kids, being grateful is taking what you have and making it enough. Essentially, being satisfied. So to find that contentment, to find that happiness, that level of being satisfied starts with being grateful. But being grateful is not automatic, it takes practice. It takes practice for all of us. So I want you to practice by making a list of 10 things that you are grateful for. They can be friends, family, they can even be things, they can be toys, those kinds of things, that's fine. And I want you to either put one list on your fridge, you can make them sticky notes, and you can stick them all over your house. And I want you to, every day, thank God for those things. I want you to thank him for providing those things. And what that does over time is it starts to make us very, very grateful for what you have. And when you're grateful for what you have, you start to want less. And it starts to refocus our minds on the one who provided those things rather than those things. So make the list, memorize Psalm 23, verse 1, read the story of Paul and Silas in chapter 16, starting in verse 16, and start to think about how grateful are you for the things that you have? And what if you didn't have any of those things? Would Jesus be enough? And we'll see you guys next week.